Hey, Read Through the Worders. Today is January 28th. I'm Wendy Pope, and it truly is a delight to be with you. And I truly am passionate about the topic for today, or the lesson for today, because for me, it is a discipline that I am still working on in my faith. And it's something that I believe every believer, if not more than one time, multiple times, has asked this, probably more times than they've not asked this specific question is, how do I know it's God speaking to me? How do I know? We have a new friend here, Elihu. I'm sure I'm butchering that name, or Elihu, however you say his name. He enters the picture, and so we have another voice in the conversation. Now, I just don't know about you guys, but there are times when I just need everyone to just stop talking. Not when I'm with my girlfriends and we're just, oh, yep, and having a good time. That's not what I mean. I mean, when you're sitting down and you're having an intense conversation, in a situation similar to this, and you're needing advice, or whether you're asking for it or not, someone's giving you advice, and then someone else comes in and says, well, what are y'all talking about? Well, Wendy's got this going on. Oh, well, if I were you, I would blah, 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 blah. And then the next person comes in and says, well, what y'all going about? And this one says, well, Wendy's blah, blah. And this one says, and it's, you're just, stop. He says this, Elihu says, for God speaks again and again, though people do not recognize his voice. And in the Bible, we are going to see God speak through some amazing channels. A donkey, just something to look forward to. Angels, people that are totally against God. Pharaoh, completely against God. And we will see God and hear God through Pharaoh. Fisherman in the Bible. Oh, yes. Fisherman. In our day-to-day life, God can speak to us in visions, in dreams, through the cashier at the Walmart, through the bank teller at the bank, the lady helping you at the shopping store when you're trying to buy a new pair of jeans or a new pair of shoes. They might not even know they're speaking something that you need to hear, but they'll say it loud and clear. And unless we're tuned right in, we're going to miss it. And this discipline is called discernment. Being able to discern is being able to mentally distinguish and recognize something. I say this often, or I have over the years, and if you've heard it, I'm sorry, you're going to have to hear it again, because there's lots of people who haven't been with us and haven't heard this great analogy. But I have a very best friend, and we've been very best friends since we were in cradle roll baby together. Our cradles were side by side in our nursery at our church. So we're both 57. No, I'm 57 right now, and she's 56. But we were beside each other in the nursery. But we lived in separate counties, neighboring counties, but separate counties. And we didn't go to the same school, but we went to the same church, as I said. She lived one county over, and we lived back in the day where you had to pay for long distance. And even one county over was long distance. And she even had a party line. Well, maybe I shouldn't even tell you that, because you're going to really know. Well, I already told you I was 57. She had a party line. So there were certain days I could not call because the party line was there. And then there was only one day a week. I could only call one time a week, she could call me. So we could call twice a week. I could call her and she could call me. So we called twice a week. And you know what? Every time she called, when I answered and she said, hey, I knew exactly who it was. Surprising? Yeah, it is kind of surprising because we didn't have caller ID. We didn't have a picture that popped up on our telephone to tell us who it is. I knew her voice because I have spent time with her. That's how we know how to recognize God's voice. I could tell it was her rather than someone else because I had spent time with her. It's the same way it is with God. The more time we spend with Him, the better we are going to be at discerning His voice, whether He's going to speak through a donkey or an atheist, an agnostic, the person checking us out at the shoe store, the one at the ball field sitting while we're watching our child at ball practice or ballet. God will use any means to get our attention. What He wants us to do is do whatever it takes, any means, to get to know Him so we can discern right from wrong, good from bad, and what He needs us to hear. He says in John 10, Jesus says this, that my sheep will know my voice. I know them, and they will follow me. He gives us evidence to discern His voice. He truly does. We just have to be patient enough to look for Him. We have to be quiet enough to hear Him. We have to spend enough time with Him to know Him. And then, confident enough to reject all the other voices. Because here's the thing. It's not enough to discern His voice and to even understand His next steps for us. Are we confident enough to silence all the other voices by saying yes to our shepherd? And that confident faith is built through obedience. The obedience starts out small, little by little, and it builds. It's doubtful He's going to say, yes, I want you to go to Africa and sell everything that you have to be a missionary the first time you need to obey Him. More likely, it might be putting up the shopping cart in the grocery store or paying it forward for the person behind you at the drive-thru or the person behind you at the grocery checkout. It's going to be the little things. Making a cup of coffee for your husband when you don't drink it and you don't even feel like making coffee for him because he made you mad. It's the little things. That's what builds the faith. The confident faith in His voice. The sheep know the shepherd's voice. And they follow Him. That's how you silence all the voices. Because you recognize the one and you obey the one that truly counts. We'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.